to Joe Goes Everywhere, a Big Blend radio food, wine, and travel podcast featuring award-winning photographer and travel writer Joe Clark. Let's find out where she's taking us today. Welcome, everyone. It is time to hang out with Joe. You know, she goes everywhere, and she just came back from the Cumberland Valley region. And this is all about King's Gap today, which I've never heard of, but now I've heard about it and read her article, and the link is in the episode notes. You can check it out on nationalparktraveling.com. So welcome back home, Joe, for what, a day?
Yeah, one more day. I leave tomorrow.
Wow, for California.
And then from there, I'm going to Oregon. So I got
Nice.
lots of things to share this fall.
Wow.
It'll take me till next spring to tell you everything that happens.
And then you go in the fall, you go to Lafayette, Louisiana, and that region.
I do. That's October.
Wow. I was looking at your itinerary for that, and it's all new to me. All new. So I'm excited.
So you have no hot tips for me.
No, I don't.
My lot.
Well, other than eat, drink, and be merry.
Have a glass, will travel.
Yeah, that tasted good. All right, so let's talk about King's Gap. King's Gap, yeah, I've not heard about this. Of obviously the Cumberland Valley region, and this is all in Pennsylvania, right? In that region.
Right. I went up, started out in York, and then from York went back over west to Gettysburg for a few days and was there for the reenactment over the 4th. From there, then went over into Carlisle and Boiling Springs and King's Gap. And this was just a notation on my itinerary that since I was going to be there on Sunday, maybe I should go by King's Gap because once a month in the summer, they have music on the mountain. And it happened to be that day. But that's basically all I knew. I get there and there is a castle on top of this mountain. So there was music, there was food trucks, there was a beautiful view, this castle, this rock castle built in the early 80s by the guy that built it was James McCormick Cameron. And I don't know if McCormick has any kind of link to the spices, but Cameron, being from Pennsylvania, people may recognize that name. It's a very connected political family. Being from Virginia and South Carolina, it meant nothing to me. But it turns out his grandfather was a senator. I think his father was too, but his grandfather also served briefly as the Secretary of War under Abraham Lincoln. So,
wow.
Yeah, cool history. And when this man passed, it was purchased by Masland and Son Carpet Company. And so they used it to showcase their carpets in the bedrooms. They changed the carpeting in the bedroom very frequently, it said. And they had lines that were dropped because they weren't so popular. And then they had new designs that were added. But the cultural center now, it encompasses the home, and it's on top of South Mountain, and it's 2,500 acres, and it's a state park in Pennsylvania. So if you're anywhere near Pennsylvania or Gettysburg or York or Carlisle, you need to go. It's gorgeous.
Okay, so I've been through York and Carlisle, but quickly, nothing like substantial. And we wanted to hang out, but you know how sometimes timing's
everything.
It just, we want to be everywhere, but it sounds so beautiful. And we've had them on the show, even from York, come on and tell us about the city, because the city looks beautiful and charming and historic. But it seems like not only did you get a castle, you got some history in there as well, right?
I did.
Military history, gardens, music, and then the most important thing?
What?
Yep.
Couple of wineries.
How many wineries? Yeah, you went to a few.
Yeah, well, there are 2 wineries right there in this county, in Cumberland County. One is a veteran-owned winery, and they had a good variety of wines, but my love, when I found the place, and we spent part of earlier Sunday before we went to King's Gap, we were at this winery. And so it ended up being lunch because his wife makes charcuterie boards that are just gorgeous. They're piled up, and they have things like pickled onions that she made. It has a white cheese. There's a local cheese maker in Carlisle or maybe Boiling Springs. I may be wrong about where the cheesemaker is because I didn't go there, but they make cheese very close to this winery, and she takes one of their red wines over, and so they make a white cheese that's wrapped, encased in this red wine that is divine. So we spent time there. I sure recommend anybody go to Totem Pole Ranch and Winery, and plan on eating there for sure.
Oh, wow. So then Totem Pole Ranch, and then there's the Long Shot.
Yes, right up the road, maybe 20 minutes. After the, was it after the concert? I think we came back by Long Shot Farms, and they have a lovely view. They're up high and have a back porch that you walk out of the winery in onto their back porch, and it overlooks the vineyards. So you can sit out there and have your wine tasting, or do your wine tasting at the bar, and then get a glass of what you like best and go out there and spend the afternoon sitting out there sipping.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like good fun to me. Now, you go and you have these wineries. You went to a dairy place too. We're going to talk about that. But all of this setting is actually part of the Appalachian Trail too. So you can go hiking.
And the Appalachian Trail comes right through there.
Wow. See, that's cool. Take a hike and then, reward yourself with cheese and wine.
Yes, that's right. As a matter of fact, there is another park that I'll have to talk about another day, and I can't even think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it is basically the center of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, wow.
On that land.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have an Appalachian Trail museum, which of course was closed the day that I was there.
Well,
everything, like we said.
Yeah.
But it's there and very interesting. There's a huge old home there that was, I guess, the mansion for the owner of the furnace. This is where they made charcoal and worked with iron and things like that. And there's big furnaces. And so the people that owned that one in that area had this big mansion. And now it is open for the through hikers come there, and they can shower and spend the night and get on the internet and catch up with their lives. There was a stack of packages in one room. UPS and FedEx delivers. So people had ordered things, I guess, at their last stop, and they knew eventually they would be here. So they had it shipped here so they could pick up their maybe new hiking boots. Maybe they've worn theirs out.
Yeah, really. No, their food. Through hikers, I have friends who do that kind of thing. And it's like, and they need the day off where they're off the trail, and then they just pig out.
And just sit, yeah. And there was an ice cream shop there, too. They have
the dairy bar.
Yeah. Well, not that dairy bar.
Oh.
That one's my dairy bar because, me, lactose intolerant Joe, and they have cows that don't give A2 enzyme milk. They give A1. And it's been determined by scientists that A1 is probably what causes most people to have the lactose intolerant issues. It's not lactose. It's this one, I guess, sugar enzyme. And I'm a believer because I ate about a pound of ice cream that afternoon. And I'm not exaggerating.
This is at the Destiny Dairy Bar?
Yes, at Destiny Dairy Bar.
Oh,
and I didn't take a pill because I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to test it. So I did not chew a single lactate, and I had no issues all night. It was amazing to me.
That's awesome. That's how we feel about like pineapple. That pink pineapple you get from Melissa's Produce. It's called the Pink Glow, and it doesn't have the acid in it. So those who can't have acid, in pineapple, they can enjoy pineapple.
They can
and it's
still
delicious.
have pineapple.
And it's delicious. It is an awesome. We made pineapple upside down cake with it. It was because it's a fresh one, which is a whole other that don't get us started, y'all. So speaking of yumminess, Market Cross Pub. Okay, so I know we're talking. You're going hiking everywhere. There's nature all around. So all of this stuff is good to do. So because Kings Gap, you're saying there's like 25 miles of trails that people can enjoy. So and enjoy the scenery and the birds. And you talked about box turtles and all that kind of good stuff. So I think we get to go to the pub, right?
I saw deer.
Well, that's always good.
I even took pictures of deer.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Market Cross Pub, oh my goodness, that shepherd's pie, I would go back tomorrow. The shepherd's pie was really, really good, but then it was piled up like this, like a ice cream sundae with their mashed
Ooh.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, I
And
do
they
like
had
a
a
good
really good
shepherd's pie.
sangria too.
Well, now we're talking even more, right?
That's
That's
right.
cool.
That's right. You
And
got to
then,
wash it down with something.
well, this is kind of nice to have this, pub food. And then going to, you said in Carlisle, you went to um, 13 Social, 113. So this is like a gastro pub, you said.
Yep. Yep. A little pub. They have really creative cocktails. They have local, they try to do all their food coming from local sources. So it's another really good stop in Carlisle for
That's
something
cool.
different, something
I love it.
creative and local.
Now, the Ellenberry Resort. Ooh,
Ooh, I
yeah,
could
yeah.
just move in. Yeah, I could move in there.
Okay, is that where so there's dining and a resort so people can just stay there, eat
You can,
there, walk
you
out,
can.
hike. Yeah.
And it's also where they have a barn that they call, the barn for dining, but there is also a small theater there that has been there ever since the resort opened. And they have a local theater group that we got to slip in and watch the dress rehearsal, their first dress rehearsal. I think it was a Tuesday night, and they were opening on Friday. So it was coming down to the wire, and they were mic'd up and all in costume and makeup to know exactly what needed to change before Friday. And that the group was fantastic.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
So you need to
Mhm.
time your visit so you can catch a show at the theater at the Allenberry. That way you can have dinner, walk back up the hill and go to the show, and walk back down the hill and go to bed.
Man. Well,
And it's
tell us
known for fly fishing.
oh,
There were men and women out in the creek doing their fly fishing. Every time you'd go outside and look down the hill at the creek, there they were.
oh.
Yellow Breeches Creek.
Well, people, well, yeah, it's called that for that reason, right? People travel for to be able to do that.
They do.
Just just to go, fly fishing.
And
And
yeah,
I've
and they're
I always think
big
it's the
contests
west.
there apparently.
See, I didn't think because I always, for some reason, thought it was always back west where they do it. I didn't know.
Nope,
So
they do it
I'm
here too.
learning. I'm learning from you, Joe. It sounds like you had a good adventure.
We
And there's
did.
more. There's more.
And there's more.
Let's talk about, yeah, the military history. So you went to an Army museum and then, yeah, and also the U.S. Army Heritage Center.
Army Heritage Center is where it's inside and outside. It is the home of the military museum, military research records. They have hundreds of thousands of documents, pictures from throughout history, and they are there so researchers can go and be in heaven. Outside, they have things like full size, a real helicopter up on stilts. So there's a picture of me under the helicopter to show how big it is. There's tanks. There are underground bunkers where you can go in and go down like the men in World War II would have done, to be underground and safe. It's really interesting for anybody, but I think especially if you had a parent who was in the military service and you've never seen this way of life while they were serving, it gives you a whole new understanding and appreciation of what they do for us every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you got to go there. So the Army Heritage Center, you want to go there, and of course, you also want to go to the museum too. So these are,
Open free to the public.
That's
Not a
cool.
penny. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. So we've got hiking and then the barn at Allenberry. The barn, we didn't talk about the barn.
They have murals that were painted when it was first built. They have excellent food. There was a blackberry brulee brie that was out of this world. I've got to figure out how to make that. It was just fantastic.
So this sounds like a really cool, like a weekend getaway for people that are in the cities, like if you're in DC, Maryland, that area, easy to get to.
Maryland, Virginia, anywhere in Pennsylvania, and probably not that far from lower part of New York and New Jersey.
I would say,
West Virginia even. Just
nice place to go.
Further, just spend the night somewhere on the way.
I wonder if they get fall colors up there. I bet you they do.
Oh, I bet they do. Yeah, I bet they do.
And
every little child remembers Molly Pitcher if you don't remember what she did, you remember Molly Pitcher. I can remember reading that little tiny blue autobiography or biography, excuse me, about Molly Pitcher. And that was during the Revolutionary War. Well, she's from Carlisle and she's buried in Carlisle. And there's a big monument to her. Her name was Mary, and her last name was never Pitcher, but she carried the water pitcher to the men when they were fighting. They were thirsty, or they had to dip the rag down in water to then ram it down the cannon or the gun to cool it off so they could load again. So the call was Molly Pitcher. So that became the call for water. Everybody, I guess, was called Molly Pitcher. And the cool thing I learned about her is that the women were part of a group, that gathered and followed the men. Her husband was a soldier, and a lot of the women's husbands were. But the woman that kind of spearheaded the women's group was Martha Washington, because,
that's right.
Husband George was fighting then, too.
Yeah. Wow. What history.
Yeah.
What amazing history. So a lot of history. I like this because I think that's the thing. You go into these nature areas, you go hiking, and you're on the Appalachian Trail or in Kings Gap. I love the fact that you were seeing music, on that Sunday. Live music. Outdoor live music is the best,
And it was jazz.
Cool. Did they have wine?
Well, I did.
Well, that just got to make sure, So, you went to two wineries.
I always have some along just in case.
You really had a good time. So I'd say a nice weekend away for those who like nature, those who like history, good food, farm to table. It seems very, seems like a very healthy place to be. Happy and healthy.
Lots of fresh food, lots of fresh vegetables and fresh milk, fresh dairy.
Yeah, well, you had ice cream.
Boy, did I have ice cream.
What did you have? What?
Everything. They have a sampler of, I think you're supposed to pick 5. And you get like a 2-ounce scoop of those 5 flavors that you pick. But, I can't ever pick one, let alone 5 out of 8 or 10. So we ended up with everything. We had a scoop of everything, and I ate more than my half.
Well, it's a good thing you walk, huh?
Yeah, it is. Paid off. Well, I
Wow.
think on that whole trip, I didn't gain but 5 pounds, which is pretty good for me.
Hey, but it's healthy. You went hiking, you got nature, so that's why I said like fly fishing, nature.
And it's all hilly, it's not like being at the beach up there. It's everywhere you went, you were walking uphill.
Yeah. Well, see, you had good reason to have more ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. More ice cream, more wine, shepherd's pie. Yeah. All good stuff. All good stuff. I would like to go out there and see like a sunrise or a sunset. That's what it looks like.
Sunset was really nice.
I bet. Well, Joe, I can't wait to hear back from what you're doing in California and Oregon, because I know you like the wine out there.
Definitely do. And that's the purpose of the trip. Willamette Valley for 10 days of wine. I'll try to find a waterfall or two so I have something.
Yeah, there's lots there. There's a lot. And then you're going to go see our friends at Bell's Up?
That's one of my first stop is Bell's Up.
Yeah, winery. And you're going to have a wonderful tasting experience there. It's the whole thing. Wow. Well, we'll catch up with you when you come back. We can't wait. So keep us posted. We'll be following on social media as you go around the countryside sipping wine. Always fun to follow you on Instagram and Facebook and see what you're up to. So, Joe, thanks for joining us. Always, it's fun. And I'm hungry and I'd like to have ice cream, please.
Well, I think I'd rather have a nice cold lemonade.
Very
with
nice.
a little bit of an additive.
There's always a little additive. Additives are good. Well, cheers to you.
Cheers, everybody, and see you on Instagram. Joe Goes Everywhere.
Thanks for joining us. Keep up with Big Blend Radio's Joe Goes Everywhere podcast on bigblendradio.com. Keep up with Joe's adventures. Go to haveglasswilltravel.com and recipestravelculture.com.